Hello, everybody, and welcome again back to Bourbon Over Baseball, where the bourbon is cold and the baseball is hot. We got Bob, your host today, with Peter as co-host.
Always great to be here, Bob.
It's a lot warmer out, a lot warmer in Chicago, I think.
Yeah, everything's melting just in time to freeze again tomorrow.
There you go. I have my bourbon today, so I'm drinking Maker's Mark to keep me warm, even though it was like 60 degrees here in Cleveland today, so I feel like we're okay. Now we have a amazing podcast for you guys today. I think this could break listening records. The White Sox are just that good.
Oh, God.
For the people, hopefully you're listening to this, or maybe you're reading the blog. But as you look through this, there's not a lot of high points to this lineup. The highest on base guy is going to be an 8. And there's only one of those. There's not much in the pitching realm either, but I think, as Peter probably will talk more about later on and whatnot, and in future blogs, is I think they have a good prospect pool.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes, they do.
and you never know if they can grab one of these big free agents, Bryce Harper or Manny Machado. But the team as it stands now, not so good. If you want to break down the first guy on the blog.
Oh, God. It's brutal. Yolmer Sanchez, I guess he's a cheap pickup for plus fielding at 40 points if you're, in need of a third baseman late, but 1 to 5 strikeout as an on-base 6. Brutal. I mean, maybe he's a guy you stash on your bench.
That's what I see him.
That's where I see him with the +3 and the A speed. Good guy to help protect a lead late that you bring into pinch run. But oh, God. I mean, it starts bad and then it gets worse with Garcia, who's another guy with 822 speed that maybe you just stash on your bench for a cheap 30 points.
Now this guy though, with 1 through 3 out, is a little bit.
But he's on base 5.
Yeah, I'm seeing both Garcia and Sanchez as bench pinch runners. Though maybe like you said, Sanchez be really late for a +3 fielding, but Garcia for a pinch runner as 22 speed. If you guys are into those kind of leagues or whatever, I think that's sort of what you can do with those two guys, but not. You're not drafting these two if you don't have to.
Then you've got Palka, who's, I think, only going to get picked if you're a guy who really loves the low on base, high, awesome charts, which tend not to be the people still playing MLB Showdown. I haven't really come across anyone who actually subscribes to that strategy.
Yeah.
So, if you're out there, good for you. I think it's, like zig when everyone else zags. Take advantage of the cheaper points. But he's not going to get drafted, I presume.
Now, do you know if he's like a highly touted young guy? Because obviously he's really powerful.
I don't think Palka is.
Okay. Yeah, because I knew he had the rookie, but I don't know. I don't follow the White Sox as much. Now, what's funny is...
Maybe he is. He wasn't in their top whatever prospect going into 2018.
So he reminds me of Kareem Garcia from old MLB Original Showdown. And the reason I say that is I haven't posted yet, so people listening, I guess, I will be having videos hopefully posted later on. I took some video of a couple of the rounds, but one of them that didn't get on video was a guy got Kareem Garcia and started him because a lot of the pitchers in the random drafts were really low control. I had a bunch of 3 control guys. I had given this guy the advantage 2 or 3 times during the 3 games I played. Yeah. And I think he had 1 home run against me. So, yes, he's pretty bad, but he does have that crazy 13 home run power chart. So, like you said, if I would not draft this strategy, but if you know that the rest of the league looks a certain way, maybe you can slide him in late as a guy. I don't know.
And maybe they accumulated him from somewhere else, but he was not in the top 30 prospects in 2017 on the White Sox, which makes it unlikely that he's that talented. I'll talk at the end a little bit about the prospects that we did make.
Yeah.
There's not a lot out here, listeners. This is going to be hard for us to break down and keep your interest with guys like Avisel Garcia, who really fell off. His 2017 card was super good. He was an on-base 10 with +2 fielding as a corner outfielder for 380 points. Really valuable and useful. And Now he's a 5.
Yeah. Ugh.
0 fielding.
Yeah. Not drafting him at all if I don't have to.
Matt Davidson got a disappointing card with the low on base.
You know what's funny is though he, if I remember correctly, had a great start to the season.
Red hot.
I remember no one had him, and he hit like 3 home runs in one game, and everyone picked him up in fantasy baseball, and he sort of did nothing for the rest of the season. But he did start off very hot, hitting home runs. But yeah, he's not just another 6. I mean, it just does not get. Maybe he doesn't get out much if he's on his own chart. 2 positions, but you're not drafting him if you don't have to. Nicky Delmonico.
Yeah.
Again, another 5.
Fall off.
Another 5 on base guy that you're not gonna really.
He was a 9 home run at 18 in the 2017 set.
Really?
Yeah.
So
he had a good 2017 season.
So hopefully, again, another maybe bounce back year.
Yeah, he and Garcia, but they might have just had random peaks. I mean, he's got a hell of a chart. He can clearly hit. It's just whether or not he gets on base enough.
Yeah.
To distribute those numbers well. We're finally to the on base 8.
Yeah, I was speaking of on base. We finally have the guy that is the one, I guess, worth talking about in this draft.
Close to a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I like about him is, well, he has a catcher +4. So this is Omar Narvaez. Is it Narvaez?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I've never heard his name spoke before.
Okay. So anyway, he's very slow, but he is the catcher +4. He's at on base 8. Doesn't get out much. So I have a feeling in the draft, again, I've talked to you about this before, in a big draft like the one we're going to be hopefully doing, is with 16 teams, yes, you got to grab what you can get at catcher. You're either going high on base or you're going high fielding. This guy is the high on base guy, so you're hopefully going to get this guy in your slot.
He might be someone you use as a, and then you get the high arm catcher that you slide in late and move him over to DH or something like that in the game too.
Maybe. If
that's possible. I think you could get some flexibility with him in there and find ways to protect his arm. I mean, he's kind of like, the Mike Piazza of old, minus the power.
Yeah, he doesn't have so much power, but what I do like about him is
160 points less.
So he played for the White Sox last year and had a better on base last year at 373. I was looking this up to see how beneficial he was. And then the year before he barely played, but he had a 350. So
probably gonna be steady, little foundational piece. Although he's blocking Zach Collins, who's one of their better prospects.
Let's see here. Now we have Yoan.
Moncada. Moncada's good. Well, he's got to be a disappointment for Sox fans in general.
Yeah,
he was the number 2 prospect in the game 2 years ago.
I thought I had great things about him, and then I drafted him, I'm pretty sure, like late in my fantasy draft, and he did nothing.
He was supposed to be the next Robinson Cano.
Really? That high?
But a righty, and that has not bared out yet. There's still some hope that he'll, he still is young. Jurickson Profar, for instance, had a massive resurgence this year. I'm excited to see his card on the Rangers and then his card on the Rays in the pennant run. But, tough for Moncada, although I kind of like the 450 points. And, it's on base 6. But if I'm getting a guy to hit 8th for me and I don't really care about the second base fielding, if I've got, maybe I got Trevor Story and Matt Chapman in the first 2 rounds. So I've got +8 on the other side. Yeah. They're maybe I go for my 150 guy with some massive upside potential in the 8 or 9 hole as an on-base 6.
Yeah, I mean, his chart does really jump up at 11. So about the 50% mark, he is getting on second base more likely, which is just great. 6 is obviously better than 5.
Yeah.
But nothing too crazy there. I do love the picture, though, that I found of him.
Yeah.
It really jumps
very
out.
Very clear.
Now, Jose Abreu, which I used to...
Also love the picture.
I used to love this guy, and I always thought he was going to be such an extremely, big power hitter or something, but he hasn't really done it. I mean, he had the big home runs when he started with the White Sox, started to drop off a little bit this year.
Yeah.
But he's declined every year basically in on base percentage. I think he got hurt. He didn't play as much last year, so I'm hoping for a resurgence where he can maybe get back to his rookie season.
Well, even 2017, he put up
he had
shockingly
so
good
much
card.
home runs.
He was
what
an
was
on
he at
base
354? 8. Oh, on base 8. Okay,
but
his,
on base 8, 16 to 20 home run.
That's really
with a triple, double at 11.
I know.
Killing it.
Colby and them had him as an on base 10, I think, or 9.
That was a few years
2014
ago.
when he was 383 on base. I mean, that's what you. I mean, he had 36 home runs. If you're hoping for anything, you're hoping for that.
Well, I'm gonna honestly say I think he might have. Like, I know he had 3 less homers.
Mm-hmm.
I almost like 2017 with the 8 more doubles. Like, he had 6 triples. Like, his on base 8 card was absolutely stellar in 2017. And if he can bounce back to that again,
doubles. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, no, he was an on base 8 who was doubling at 11.
Wow.
He put up a massive card, and probably the best value in the 2017 set at 390 points.
Yeah, that's why I'm so disappointed in him, because I just know him as I've watched him for a few years now. I'm like, he's so good, and then this year just wasn't there. So I was a disappointing card, but the stats are what they are.
He might get drafted.
Well, I think so too. At 7, I mean, he's gonna find a spot.
Slightly better chart without the defense of Mitch Moreland, who we were high on. Yeah. So I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player. Bench is not much to look at, but more speed on it. Not a lot of defense.
And they obviously most of these guys are interchangeable because they are all on base 5s. But I think I'm not too. I mean, you're drafting these guys as position bench players.
Got to be a pinch runner, and
maybe.
Then looking at the pitching. You're not going to draft James Shields.
Absolutely do not want James Shields.
No.
Of all the people I don't want on this team, 100% don't want him. I don't want to give up a home run ever. And let alone, my bigger thing is not giving up doubles. It's like 19's also a double.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the rest of this rotation. Also not going to draft Lucas Giolito with the control 0.
Nope.
Who's only 1-17 out with the control 0. That's
and
tough.
5 innings.
Yeah, so he's brutal.
But the other two... probably not drafting him, but
Lopez is probably going to end up on a team in our 16-man league just because we're going to have 64 starting pitchers.
Yeah.
So 360 points. I imagine he finds his way onto a squad. And then Rondon, I think someone might take him as like their cheaper 4th starter.
I'm probably going to take him because of the artwork.
Oh, you know what? I love that strategy.
Yeah, I mean, 16 out, he's okay. But like you said, he's only 200 points, so, can you find him later in your draft for a back of the inning or back of your rotation guy? Probably.
Yeah, and we have, for the listeners, Fernando Lopez on the tier chart thing, he's ranked about 56th in our tier stuff. So he probably will make the cut, although, I mean, the tier 4s run from number 46 until 86, and there's not a lot of separation between a lot of them. Like, obviously, control up and down. He's better than the control 1 guys who are out there, and probably the 2s and 3s. So I think he's going to get drafted. I put him
very standard.
Around that 55 to 60 range. He's going to be someone's number 4.
Yeah, I think he's very standard pitcher. We got a 4 control, 1 through 15 out. Like, this is very standard.
Yep.
And so he'll end up finding his spot. Yeah. In terms of the bullpen, Hector Santiago, interesting with the 2 innings as a 1 control.
Cheap.
And very cheap, but not...
I don't understand, you're like, oh, the 2 IP, but then you've got a guy right below in Jace Fry, who in his second inning of pitching is still 2 tiers better than Santiago as a control 1 with 1 to 18 out.
Well, it just depends, I think, on what you're trying to save in value. At 130...
Yeah, I guess he's way more points, but...
Yeah. I mean, I don't want either one of them, but I guess I like Jace Fry better, though I don't like him for his salary. And then Juan Minaya,
No.
I don't want any zero controls on my team if I don't have
Yeah.
to.
I don't. I mean, I don't want 0 or 1 controls. I'd rather not have a 2 control.
Yeah.
And I'm seeking to avoid 3 controls.
So
So
there's not much in the
I'm steering
bullpen here that you're
clear.
gonna find. 'Cause you got
No.
Aaron Bummer as a 1. He doesn't give up the home run.
Bummer of the year.
Yeah, bummer of the year. He's a 1 control. Nate Jones, not good also with the 0 control closer. So just, again, their bullpen is not good. This is a team that definitely needs to rebuild. This is a team that definitely needs
They need Soria back.
They need their, who's the guy? Michael Kopak? What's his name?
Oh yeah, he is one of the top prospects.
Yes. So they need someone like him to come up. They need to sign like a Manny Machado. They need Jose Abreu to show up, because they can keep Omar and have Yohan Moncada do well.
Yeah, if Moncada starts living up to even what would have been his disappointing potential, he'd still be like an on-base 7 with a really good chart. Slight improvement over what he is now. But then you've got like Eloy Jimenez is probably going to come up this year. He's got the most power in the minor leagues.
Is he the outfielder?
Even more power than Vlad. Yep, he's the outfielder.
Okay.
His peak that we had him in, and it's from a few years ago. Now, the way that they have, I think they gave him like a 70 or 80 power in the most recent, like the one that just came out, which is ridiculous. I think they might have given him 80, but we had him at like the 70 mark or 65. I think it's 65.
Mm-hmm.
See here. Yeah, 60 power, which still 65. So whatever. His peak is a 50 home run type hitter.
Wow.
On base 10. So an on base 10 home run at 16. Like that's his top potential.
Yeah.
So like hopefully that's what we get. His likely that we have, like just his raw power is an on base 9 homer at 16. Like that's the type of player that's expected of him.
Yeah, that's
and
like
maybe that
Acuna
40 home run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're hoping, and maybe he's on base 10 homer at 17, on base 8 homer at 15.
Wow.
But right in there, he should be a good on base guy. I mean, his disappointing projection is the 380 point player who's on base 8 homer at 16. Like he's
disappointing.
yeah. So that's why he's a top 5 prospect in the game. Like this is one of the few guys who's like a surefire.
And this is
number 4 or 5 hitter.
And this is what they're selling, I think, to the fan base, and I think also what they're trying to tell, like a Manny Machado or someone or a Bryce Harper. Hey, come here. Yes, right now we're rebuilding, but you're going to be the face, and we got a bunch of people to come help you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've got Jimenez is at the top. You got Michael Kopech. He's one of the best starting pitcher prospects. His top, his like peak potential is a tier 2 control 6, so that's a 6, 1 to 15 out. His likely is the tier 2 control 4, so 1 to 17 out, IP 6. And then his like disappointing is being like your typical control 4, 1 to 16 out guy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with starting pitchers, there is a lot more variation with the projections usually.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's sort of the floor that they're hoping for, and obviously there's the chance they just bust.
Yeah.
But then you've got to pair with the Jimenez in the outfield. Luis Roberts, and it's crazy because he's also a top flight prospect. His peak is an on base 8 home run at 16. He's got some problems with contact in terms of getting on base, but speed 822 potential type of guy. So he's going to bring power and speed. Alec Hansen, another great starting pitcher prospect who's got tier 2 potential, but there's been some concerns that he might end up having to get moved to the bullpen. And so we've reflected that in ours, and we think he might end up, he's probably going to end up there, just because he has some electric stuff with his fastball. I think it's the best fastball curveball combo of the 2014 class. Throws like 98.
Wow.
But he'd be good in the bullpen. And so we'll see. We'll see. He's got the health concerns with mechanics.
It sounds
Zach
like
Collins is a good catcher.
Okay.
They've got Jake Berger at third base. Maybe he got traded away, but
it sounds like they're about 2 or 3 years away from putting something on the field. Probably not next year.
Yeah.
Though some of those guys will be up, but they really need, I think, to sign a big free agent to really do something.
I mean, they get Machado. They don't have a shortstop prospect in the top bunch
sucks
that I had here.
because Machado's better at third base. Even though I did listen to MLB talk about how he was terrible at shortstop in Baltimore, but when he got traded over to the Dodgers, he actually had a plus defensive run saved at shortstop in LA versus the
positive.
negative. So
Yeah.
you could put him at shortstop if he's fixed whatever things they've done, and then you could say, you said they bring up their prospects. It could be a good team. I mean, I always liked the White Sox ever since the days of Frank Thomas.
Yeah.
So I love their black and white, and obviously it's reflected on the cards. But like we said, the team itself, you're probably not drafting much, maybe 1 or 2 players, maybe 3. Though they're cool looking. They're black and white.
Yeah.
And, obviously, if you made it all the way to the end of the blog, you saw the Ronaldo Lopez 2001 variant style version that
Love
I made,
him.
which looks really fantastic. So hopefully, if you guys like him, you guys can put him into your sets as well. But overall, the White Sox aren't that good, and hopefully we'll be able to supplement with a better AL team in a couple weeks. But I think you will have a better NL team coming up very soon. Who do you have coming up for us?
I've been sort of working on the D-backs, Mets, and Nationals, all kind of haphazard. So one of those 3 teams might be.
All of those are better than the White Sox.
Yes, we might be back in black with the D-backs, or mix up the colors a little bit and go with one of the other teams. I think people will really like the Mets pitching and not much else.
Yeah, well,
So we'll see how that goes.
I think the Mets are looking for hopefully 2019 season versus their 2018 season.
Yeah.
So.
The pennant run team is basically just going to be replacing everybody.
Oh yeah, that actually should be pretty exciting to see, like what they projecting to sort of turn out to be, like with Cano and
Yep.
What's his face from Seattle, Diaz. Yeah. So with that, everyone, thank you again for listening. Obviously, subscribe and like our YouTube channel, and keep us growing, and hopefully download the pictures, have your leagues going. Let us know what your guys' thoughts are, if there's anybody that we missed or anything you'd like to see or change. So with that, have a great night, Peter.
All right. Night, Bob.